And I'm going to, as usual, start by sharing my screen with you. And we're going to look this week, let me just adjust things. We're going to look this week on declare a play problems and situations where you need to count your tricks to start with and then make your best plan. So let's have a look at this one where North-South are playing weak no trump, and they open one no trump, and your partner raises you to game. Oh, sorry, your partner first of all uses Stayman rather. You reply two spades, and then they bid three no trump. And the opponents lead a club, the two of clubs. And you can see right away that you're in a bit of problem because you've got no club stopper. And the opponents are actually going to start off by taking the first four clubs. And what I want you to do is think about what you're going to discard. You're going to have to discard twice from the north hand and once from the south hand. And I'd like you to think about, in particular, what you're going to discard from dummy, what you're going to discard from the north hand. So have a little think about this. The opponents are going to cash clubs now, and they will actually take four clubs. And the question is, what two discards are you going to make from the north hand? So here comes the poll, and the question is, what two discards are you going to make from dummy? Let's have a look at the results. And the majority have gone for two hearts, with some choosing two diamonds or a heart and a diamond. Well, let's go back to the hand, and the crux of any hand really in no trump, and this one included, is to start off by counting your top tricks. And if you do that, I think you'll see that you have four top tricks in spades. They need a little bit of entangling. They're a bit, there's a blockage there. You've got one top trick in hearts, and you've got five top tricks in diamonds. So you have 10 top tricks here. And if the opponents hadn't led a club, you will be able to make 10 tricks here. But as it is, they're going to lead clubs. And I hope you can see that the suit in dummy that you really want to hang on to is the diamonds. To make 5 diamonds, you really want to keep your your long suit in dummy. And so discard your hearts and keep your diamonds. So that's how I'm going to play it. I think once you make a plan, you should see that even though they take their clubs, you're going to keep your diamonds as your best source of tricks. And again, if they play a heart, I think on this one, you can still make 9 tricks, even if you do discard a diamond. But generally speaking, keep your diamonds. They might, for example, have not managed to take their 4 club tricks. They might have got blocked or something could have happened. So throw away your hearts and just keep your diamonds. Then when they switch to another suit, if they play a heart here, of course, you're not going to take the finesse. You're going to play your ace, and now you're going to take the rest of your tricks. Just be careful to unblock with the jack, king and jack of spades. You can then cross back to your to the south hand, cash your king, and of course, before you play any more diamonds, take your 2 spade tricks, and played that way, of course, you'll make your 9 tricks. When this hand was played, a lot of declarers were in 3 no trump, but didn't make 9 tricks. They must have tried the heart finesse and suffered another trick to the defense. Let's have a look at another example. And this time you open a preempt of 3 spades. You'd rather have a slightly stronger suit, but it's a 7-card suit. You bid 3 spades, and your partner takes you to 4 spades. And down comes dummy, and there's a very nice dummy for you. And what you need to do on this hand is think about your tricks and think about where you might lose tricks. So if we go through the suits one at a time, we're going to make all the spades. but we have a heart loser, potentially, and we have some diamond losers. We actually have 3 diamond losers in the south hand. The ace will take care of one trick, so we're left with 3 diamonds. But of course, you're not going to lose 3 diamonds because you're going to rough diamonds in dummy. So that's what we're going to do on this hand. Our plan is to rough diamonds in dummy. So if they lead a club and you play your ace, what you need to realize is what you need to discard here is a heart. Don't discard a diamond because it doesn't save you any tricks. You're going to rough these diamonds, so throw away the heart. And now we're going to go to our plan of roughing diamonds in dummy, and we're hoping to rough all our diamonds in dummy. So we'll win the first one, play a diamond, and the opponents will quite possibly, seeing what I'm doing here, switch to a trump. So they may well play a trump, which I have to win in dummy, but I still want to get back to my hand, perhaps with a heart, and I'm going to rough another diamond in dummy. Now what? Well, I want to get back to the south hand to rough that last diamond. So I'm going to try a club there, roughing that high, of course, because I've got just very high trumps here, and then rough the last diamond with the ace. And then I just need to come back to my hand and draw the last trump, and I'll make 12 tricks on that one. Again, when this hand was played, only about half the declarers made 12 tricks, and most must have tried the heart finesse and only made 11. But you know, when you see that finessing situation, that doesn't mean you should always try it. And here, the much better option was to discard the queen of hearts on the ace of clubs. Do trump if you're having any questions about these. Let's try this one where you open 2 no trump. That shows a balanced hand with 20 to 22 points. And your partner passes. Your partner, you can see, has only got 4 points there. And the opponents lead a spade. So what you have to do on this hand is think about your top tricks to start with. So I'd like you to count your top tricks. And when you've done that, think about which suit may provide any extra tricks. All right. So you're going to, at some point, win this trick, let's say, and the question is, which suit is most likely to provide an extra trick? So let me launch that poll. It's got 2 parts to it. How many tricks, top tricks do you have? And when you gain the lead, which suit are you going to go after? Okay, let's have a look at the answers. And most of you have said 7 with answers for 6 and 8. And most of you are going for clubs with a smaller number going for diamonds. And let's have a look at it. Well, yes, top tricks, we've got 2 spades, no hearts, 2 diamonds, and we've got 3 clubs. So yes, I agree, you have 7 top tricks here. And where can you make more? Yes, the best choice would seem to be clubs. I mean, there are a couple of possibilities. One is that the clubs divide evenly. They divide 3-3. Or when you play the ace, king, queen, that the jack and 10 fall is another possibility. Diamonds could also provide another trick. Again, if they divide favorably, you could make another trick there, but I think clubs is a better option. But the first key thing you have to do on this hand is to win this one in your hand. Keep the king of spades, because you may well need that as an entry to dummy to take any tricks that you're able to set up there. So take the ace, and then I'm going to play the ace, king, queen, and I'm watching what the opponents play. Now they play the 10 there, which is interesting. The two high cards I'm interested in are the Jack and the 10. So, even if you find it hard to keep track of everything, keep track of the high cards you're worried about here in the club suit. I play the king, the Jack drop, so now I know my 9 is going to make a trick. And all I need to do is play the queen, and then I'll be able to cross to dummy with the king of spades to make the 9, and that'll be my 8th trick there. You could, on this hand, also try the diamonds, and you might be able to set up another trick there. It could work. On the other hand, if the Jack, if you cash the ace king and then the Jack loses to the queen, you could help the opponents. And although you've sort of got a stopper in hearts, it's not guaranteed. So you might decide, having made that extra trick in clubs, that that's enough for you, and maybe now just cross to the king of spades and cash that top club you've set up. After that, you're probably just going to take your last 2 diamonds to make 8 tricks there. I'll just bring up the rest of the hand. And probably that's all you're going to make on this hand, because the opponents will get in and can cash spades and diamonds and a heart and hold you to 8 tricks. However, when this hand was played, only about half the declarers made 8 tricks, and a number went down in 2 no trump. So just a matter of really looking for your best option there. On this hand, the diamond would have worked out as well here. If you tried the diamonds, played perhaps the ace king and then led a low diamond, that would make a trick with you'd be able to make a trick with your Jack again. Anyway, let's have a look at another one. Here you open 1 no trump, and your partner jumps to 6 no trump, and the opponents lead the Jack of spades. And I'd just like you to count your top definite tricks here, because when this hand was played, not everyone made all the top tricks that they could. So take a minute, count your top definite tricks, and I'm going to launch a poll. And the question is, how many top tricks have you got here? Okay, let's have a look at this one. And this is a very interesting one for me, because most of you have gone for 12, 43%, with others going for 13, 11, or 10. Well, let's switch back to the hand and let's count our top tricks. So we have 1 spade, 2 hearts, and we should be able to make 4 diamonds, although the suit does require some careful handling so that you don't, so you can take all 4 tricks. And what about clubs? Well, if you look carefully, you have 8 clubs between you and dummy. So the opponents only have 5. So no matter how the clubs are divided, even if they were 5-0, you should be able to make all those clubs. When I look at this hand, normally I look at the clubs, I think, oh, that looks like 6 tricks. And I may not necessarily bother to work out whether there's any possibility of losing a trick there. But on this layout, you have the top 5 clubs, and you should make all 6 tricks. So that's 6 clubs, 4 diamonds, that's 10, 2 hearts, and 1 spade. Yes, you have 13 tricks on this hand. And again, when this hand was played, not everyone made 13 tricks. They may have tried the spade finesse, but there's no need for that here, because you can just take your 13 tricks. Just be careful about it. Look for, like in the diamonds, look at that situation where you need to unblock the king jack so you can then cross to your hand to take the last 2 diamonds. So don't play the queen here, play the ace. And then I'm going to start with the king and the jack. Don't overtake here, because you might not make 4 tricks that way. And as long as you've got entries here you've got entries, to the north hand and the south hand with the ace and king of hearts. So there should be no problem here. We'll now play clubs, winning in the short hand with the king, playing the 10. Again, no need to overtake that, because we can get back to the north hand. And then let's play our last two diamonds, and we can now cross to dummy and take our last clubs. So yes, there are indeed 13 top tricks here, and it just requires a little bit of careful handling to make them all. But some people, when this was played, didn't manage that. Any questions on that? So, do take a while to count your tricks and count your likely tricks. On this hand, of course, you can make them all. Let's try another one. Here you are. Do you have a question, Nigel?
Yes. Why didn't you? Why doesn't he bid Gerber and then go and then you make the 70? Because once you've got an ace on the other side, you've got the 7 tricks, right?
So you think North should use Gerber?
Why not?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. South has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. And how many points does North have? I think it's 21, right? 21 points. And I mean so if you did use Gerber, you'd find out your partner's got 1 ace. Then what? Then you'd ask for kings, maybe?
Yep.
Okay, you'd find out your partner's got 2 kings, and then what would you bid?
I go for 7. It seems like a fair bet given the hand.
Of course, if your partner didn't have the king of clubs, you're probably going to lose a club, aren't you?
You could.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just happens here that you have 13 tricks without needing the king of spades. So I would just go to 6 no trump here. Even if you use Gerber and you find out your partner's missing a king, I still want to end up in 6 no trump here. It just happens that you don't need it. So I don't think you should really bid 7 no trump unless you can count 13 tricks. And I don't think the North hand can count 13 tricks unless you know your partner's got the
King of clubs,
the king of clubs. So but that's a good thought, but stay away from grand slams unless you're pretty confident about them. Let's try this one. And this one you open 1 no trump, which is a weak no trump, and your partner raises you to game here, and the opponents lead the 2 of hearts. And again, you're going to start off by counting your top tricks. So I'd like you to do that. And once you gain the lead here, the question is, which suit are you going to play next? So let's suppose you win the first trick with the ace or the king of hearts. Which suit are you going to play next? So that's the 4th poll of the afternoon. Let me launch that one. And 61% went for clubs and 39% went for diamonds. Well, let's look at this. First of all, count our top tricks, which are 2 spades, 2 hearts, 3 diamonds. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And to make our contract, we're going to have to go after clubs. You could play the diamonds, and that may or may not lead to an 8th trick, but it doesn't lead to a 9th trick. And there is a slight danger if you play the diamonds and you discover a bad break, or that you're only going to make 3 tricks there, that you've set up tricks for the opponent. So I think you have to go for clubs here. Fortunately, you have stoppers in all the other suits. So I think the right play is to win this one and play clubs. You've got the king, queen, you've got the queen, jack, 10, 9. So you can just force out the ace. Whatever they play back, if they play a heart, you can win that and you'll play another club. Now, you'll force out, okay, so here if they let you win that club, that's 1 club you've won, but you still want to win another club. So you keep on at the clubs, and even though West gets in and you're now wide open in hearts, let's just bring up the 4 hands, you just hope that they can't take enough hearts to defeat you, because there's really no other good option here. As it turns out, they can take 2 hearts, but you can still regain the lead and make your remaining club at the end, make your 9 tricks that way. So although if I just rewind the hand, if you tried the diamond cashing ace, king, queen of diamonds, that could work on some situations, but on a layout like this, you'd actually have set up another diamond for East if he gets in. So it's probably just best to plug away at clubs there. Also, diamonds will only ever provide 1 extra trick, so you'll have to play the clubs anyway. Okay, and let's try this one where you open 2 no trump and your partner jumps to 6 no trump, and they lead the queen of spades here. And I'm going to ask you again on this one to start off by counting your top tricks, and then I'm going to launch a poll on that. How many top tricks have you got here? And then you should be able to think about where you're going to make any extra tricks you need. So take a minute, count your top tricks. Look at the results here. Almost everyone has agreed here that you have 11 top tricks, just 1 or 2 people going for 12 or 13. So let's see what we think. Yes, we have 2 spades, 3 hearts, 4 diamonds. We'll be able to make 4 top tricks in diamonds, and we have 2 clubs. So yes, I think that comes to 11. And there's really only one good place where we can make another trick from, and that's in clubs. Either if you look at the club suit, you've got 8 clubs and you're hoping that they divide evenly, 3-2. And if so, you should be able to make another trick there. Or even if they divide 4-1, if someone were to discard a club, you could still make an extra trick here. So you can't make them all, but you should be able to make 1 extra in club. So all I'm going to do here is win that. And you might start by cashing your diamonds here. You can safely cash 4 diamonds, and it may put pressure on the opponents, and they may discard a club incorrectly. But if they don't, you'll just maybe cash that last diamond, and then while you still have stoppers in all the suits, you've got to play the club. So different ways you could do it. You could just play the ace and king, and if everyone follows, you now know that you can set up a club, force out the queen. Whatever they play back now, your 12th trick is the last club. So again, when this hand was made, a number of people just made 11 tricks on this hand, and maybe they were frightened of going after the clubs. You know, if you start off by cashing all your winners, then you won't make more than 11, but you need to obviously lose a club there to set up the 13. So that was the lesson today. That was all I wanted to look at, some examples of hands where people didn't play them in the right way. So I hope that won't happen today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen with you in a moment. Does anyone have any questions about that?